Hello. Welcome to the Dome of Wisdom channel. Today we're going to be talking about why UK employees are cooked. Why are our salaries cooked? Why do we always seem to get the short end of the stick? Let's delve right into this. So, you'd expect a job that requires a degree, 5 years of experience to pay more than the minimum wage, right? But in 2025 that gap is almost gone, and it's only getting worse. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the UK job market is such a nightmare. You're not alone, let's break this down. So, that's not even working. So, I'm Jack, aka the Dome of Wisdom, and my mission is to illuminate your life with all the knowledge in my hairless head. So today, we're talking about why so many professional jobs in the UK, roles that used to pay well, now barely earn more than a minimum wage gig at Tesco. The fact that most jobs pay the same regardless of skill level makes no sense, so let's look into this. To put things into perspective, I'm not just some woke graduate that sat around doing nothing. I am employed, I do have a job, and I've realised and experienced a very real problem by working, which I think I can shine some light on from my shiny reflective head. So, in April 2025, the national, the national living wage, actually that should say minimum wage, it's a mistake there, so please forgive me, rose to £12.21 an hour. That's 25,391k on a 40-hour week. That's a good thing. So where does the problem come in? So many entry-level, even professional roles, admin, support, care coordinators, TAs, early career jobs that require degrees, experience, etc., are paying just above this. And according to the Office of National Statistics and job boards like Indeed, many professional roles now start at 25, 26k, which there we go, that is around the minimum wage. So that means functionally, a job that took years of study and qualifications now pays about the same as stacking shelves. The minimum wage has risen 32% in the last 5 years thanks to government mandates. Excuse me. But professional roles weren't adjusted proportionally. They've remained flat or crept up 1 to 2% a year. This is something I've experienced personally working in a corporate, very high intensity B2B sales role. And at the time, I was on a few pounds an hour over the minimum wage, plus commission. So, if I look at that sort of job now, that should be what, £15 an hour plus commission? Nope, £12.21 plus commission. So, the minimum wage increase has effectively eaten the buffer that the professional, higher intensity, higher training roles had over them. And then you look at similar jobs in the USA. Why is it a 75k job plus commish, plus over here it's 26k starting salary plus commish? I feel as though we're being ripped off. Let me know what you think. So again, just to summarise here, the pay difference between skilled and unskilled roles has nearly vanished, as well as all the incentives to upskill ourselves and seek real fulfillment from our work. And you may be thinking, oh well, you worked in sales, you're not a doctor or anything like that. Well, it did take a lot of training. It is a very strenuous, tough role for any of you that have worked in sales. And by sales, I don't mean customer service or anything like that. I mean actual sales in an office, hitting the phones, tons of KPIs. For those of you who don't know, that's key performance indicators. Super tough roles. And that is just one personal example. I know, for example, teachers who are on 26k and stuff like this. So why are they on just above the minimum wage? it's not right. They've gone to uni, they've accrued experience. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, so let's move on. Next point, with a flooded job market, employers can pay less. And that's because people are desperate for experience. At the end of the day, we have bills to pay. No one wants to live in a box on the street, getting rained on. We've all got bills to pay, whether we like it or not. We all have to have a roof over our heads to live comfortably. We all have to get food in our stomach. So, we begrudgingly accept things that we don't like. And to put a little thing here, with the stoicism of a cow standing in the rain, because what can we do? You speak up against them, oh well, we'll buy you, we'll bring in just a yes man who says yes to everything, because that's what they want. So, again, another slide. I've gained many qualifications and skills, and yet my wage isn't a representation of what I can do and what I'm actually worth. This leads to a lot of frustration, and I'm sure many of you are in the same boat. It leads to low morale, burnout, a brain drain. As we can see in the UK, for instance, many doctors and professionals are actually flying off abroad because there's just no incentive to work here for about 70 grand as a GP, when in the USA you get $200k. Just doesn't make any sense. So why would you spend 3 to 5 years training for a job that pays the same as retail work but with more stress? Obviously a doctor earns more, but it's just another example of another thing. And another note is that employers want a bargain. They write their lists of requirements and skills, but they don't want to pay the remuneration that coincides with it. Therefore, even the lowest entry-level roles now, you scroll on Indeed, they have high requirements and still pay a low wage. How often do you see it? We want 2 years experience, we want these qualifications, we want this, we want that. You will be this, you will be that, the ideal candidate can do this. Let's look at the salary. Oh, minimum. Okay, so let's look at some. I don't know why these images are disappearing, but there's a job here. Thankfully, I remember what it was. It was a PT job, and it required multiple qualifications, years experience, and starting at just over the minimum wage. Right, brilliant idea. Let's get paid $12.50 for an hour of our time, whilst the gym charges people $40 for it. Because that's about the going rate for a PT, isn't it? So why would you go there and earn $12.50 like some absolute penis, and a 0 hours employer too? Like, wow, honestly, we're so privileged. Next one. So this one looks a bit better, thankfully. I don't know why the image isn't working, but I can remember. Head housekeeper, it looks a bit better. So that said, the description describes it as a very high workload. The successful candidate will be managing the department and doing the same responsibilities as the people they manage for up to 79p an hour more. Like, wow, genuinely, what an incentive. Because you think of the sort of person they'd want, they would have years of experience, they would have probably some management experience and stuff like this. And it just makes you think, like, what is the actual point? So, in short, minimum wage rose very quickly, but professional salaries aren't. Effectively, many are actually taking a cut. Meaning, skilled jobs now pay nearly the same as unskilled work, generally speaking. So this affects career motivation, education decisions, and retention. And when every job pays roughly the same, experience, education, and effort stop mattering. I'd be interested to know what you think can be done about this obvious problem. And even, do you think it's a problem, or do you think I'm just going off on some sort of bald-headed tangent and complaining? Or is this something that you witness? Is this something, could you add some constructive points and some of your own observations to this. And finally, if you're in a role that pays less than it should, you're not imagining it. The numbers back you up. So again, just drop a comment below. Have you ever worked in a professional job that pays barely above the minimum wage? Let's talk about it. I want some case studies. I want to know from your experience. And finally, if you want to join a community of thought and discussion, check out the channel. That's all I've got to say to you today. Thanks very much for sticking along. See you soon.